If you have lost your father, this God will give you a substitute father. Somebody who will do for you whatever your father could not do for you. But you will recognize that man and serve that man and obey that man and take his correction and discipline. Elisha said, where? He was not asking that question to mock God or mock Elijah. He was saying, that God that protect, do you know this God provided food for Elijah? Sent ravens to serve him bread and water by the brook of Cherith. I don't know if you know that this God can supernaturally supply your needs. When I bought my first car, 1976, my mother saw me drive a brand new car, came all the way from my village to Uyo to say, Uma, I didn't know a pastor can buy a car. How did you buy a car? If you can afford a car, you can take care of my business. I have run out of money. I didn't know a pastor can own a car. I thought it was a life of poverty. That was when Abasofon was my secretary. I don't have money in this house. But by tomorrow morning, the God I preach, the God of Elijah, will bring money here. How much do you want? She asked me, how much do I want? You said you don't have money anywhere. Where would the money come? I am linked and hooked up to the maker of heaven and earth. He is inexhaustibly rich. My mother asked me, are you well? What type of statement is that? She said, now you know why I hate you Pentecostals. You behave like God lives in your house. We talk every day here in this house. We have a relationship. She told me the amount. My wife went to pray and prayed about it and went to sleep. The next morning, my secretary, Abasofon, I hope she's not in this crowd. She should be here. She came in and saw a large sum of money with my name on it. She began to cry. She said, Daddy, this money was not here at the close of work. I have not seen this money before. I have not seen such money before. I don't know. Daddy, I'm not a thief. Look at this guy. That money was sent for somebody. Bring it and give it to her. That God that sent ravens to take care of Elijah is ready to save you at that level of responsibility. When Elisha was simply saying, this God that fed Elijah, can you feed me the same way? In 1978, my mother sent for my wife and I. We drove to a village. She said, when I see you on television, smile like a rich man with your bulging stomach and your fat cheeks, and knowing that you have no house in our village, I wonder why you're telling people you're a rich man when you don't have a house in the village. You're a stupid boy. I had told you to stay away from being a pastor. Now you don't have a house. You appear on TV and smile and laugh like a drunkard. Ma, what do you want? She said, I want you to build a house in this village. Is that all? She said, yes. Your mates have houses here. Those who are even older than them have houses. You don't have any because of this madness of being a preacher. Ma, take it easy. My wife and I shall go back now. We'll tell God you want me to build a house. He'll give me the money. Tomorrow we shall return. She said, here you go again. So God is waiting for you to supply your needs. And I said, Ma, being a born-again child of God is like joining the army. You don't need to fight for yourself. Government will buy your shoes, buy your guns, buy your bullets. Yours is to collect and use. The next morning on the dot of 5:30, an elder of the Apostolic Church left Aba, came to 129 Oron Road, knocked at our door. We opened. The man said, "Oh, I don't know who you are, but last night God gave me your name, gave me your address, and asked me to bring you money, that you need money for something. I am here with the money." That is what Elisha was asking God. Will you do for me what you did for Elijah? Hold two people's hands. Say to them, whatever God has done for anybody under this sun, he will do it for you. We went home. I thought I was going to impress my mother. Sometimes mothers can be very difficult if you have the right mother. Because some mothers, they call ordinary ultimate. They call failure success. My mother counted the money and said, "Oma, this money can buy only 2 plots of land. You need 4 plots of land. If you prayed and God gave you this money, go back and tell him you need more money." What are you doing with 2 plots of land? Want to have a parking area where you park your cars? Want to buy more cars? Ma, we'll go back and tell the same God. He will bring more money than we brought today. She said, "Okay, I'm waiting. I have canceled my plan to go to farm. I'll be waiting for you." The next day, the same man came back and said God asked him to return with more money than he brought the previous day. You know, I didn't know that man until 1984 when we had Greater Aba for Christ Crusade. I gave the testimony in their church. The man laughed so loud. He said, "Oma, I was that angel that brought you the money." Right where you are, there is nothing God has done for Oma he cannot do for you. Nothing. 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 We went to my mother, gave her the second installment. She counted the money, and counted it again, and fixed her gaze and glanced at me, and asked me, in all honesty, "Are you a preacher or an armed robber?" If your life does not demand supernatural explanation, something is wrong. You can't be walking with He who designed the sky without a pillar and not live a life that demands explanation. My mother said, "Look into my eyes. I am your mother." I looked into her eyes and said to her, "The God I serve, to him nothing is impossible. Nothing." I said to her, "Ma, I'll never be an armed robber. I am not an armed robber." She began to cry. She asked me, "Tell me again, what do you say you are doing?" I had never seen a preacher buy a car, a new car, a brand new car. Did she know the story of that car? She didn't. My cousin, who was in Gabon, married to a smashingly, gorgeously, mesmerizingly, bewitchingly pretty woman. The woman sacked him for being poor. And he called me and said, "Come, that girl walking like a headmistress, stop her. Can she sit down somewhere?" I think she made a hairdo. While we are looking up to God, some people are trying to attract our attention for us to look at their dress. Not this night. We are here for a serious business. I said there are 71 persons who come from families where people die prematurely. As I speak now, you're going to feel heat, power flow from your head to your toes. That power shall be Holy Ghost power. It shall be a confirmation and an affirmation and attestation that the grave they dug for you and your family members have been closed, have been closed, have been closed. Raise your hand and shout hallelujah, somebody. When they say you will die, we declare you will live long. Take your seat. My cousin called me and said, Reverend, I'm going through the deepest humiliation of my life. My wife had just walked out on me and ran after other men because I have no money. And I said to him, give up your food for 20 days and call me. I'll pray for you. I want you to see what prayer can do. Go ahead. That woman, God cannot speak through two prophets. The spirit of a prophet is subject to the prophet. Hold that to spirit and sit down. This is not the time to manifest power. Remember, a man's anointing determines how he will behave and act. Listen to me. That my cousin gave up his food for 20 days. I prayed for him. I don't know what I said in my prayer. But the next day, he was on his Vespa, cruising along the road. The president of Gabon saw him, overtook him and blocked his way. And asked him, how did you add additional lamps to your Vespa? He said, I am an artist, gifted, only I'm not educated. The president said to him, I'm in love with your Vespa. From now henceforth, when we travel as presidential convoy, you will lead us. My brother asked, who? The man you are talking to, sir, is the carpenter. The president said, I've been looking for a carpenter to repair all the broken chairs in the presidency, Minister of Education, Minister of Finance. My brother said, Your Excellency, I did not even complete primary school. He said, I'm not looking for a professor. I'm looking for a carpenter. And you are my choice. What is more? Can we go to the government house and have lunch? My brother said, I am poorly dressed. Hey, we're not going for fashion parade. We're going to eat, want to know you. That's how my poor brother became stupendously rich, that he bought a brand new Chrysler car. He came to Nigeria with the car. He said, I'm coming to give you this car. It is the result of your prayer. I can't be driving while you that made me rich will be trekking. I want to give it to you. I said, hey, stop. We don't take gift from unbelievers. You are an unbeliever. He asked me, what do people do? I said, we buy. I asked him, how much do you have? I told him I had 1,300 naira. He said, even if you had 1 naira, the car is your own. I will write, you bought it, you paid for the car, and I'll sign it. That's the car my mother saw and asked me, how can a pastor buy a car? Pastors are supposed to be very, very poor. What type of pastor now drives a brand new car? When you see a pastor with brand new shoes, don't envy him. You don't know how the shoe got there. Whether somebody he prayed for bought the shoes. When Governor Akpani Semen was governor, he said to me, Mama, this office is the extension of our street. What do you want? Your neighbor is now the governor. And I said, I want a piece of land. He sent for Surveyor General. That one said there was no land left in Uyo. The governor said, are you telling me? I also went to school. Go and bring the map of Uyo. I will show you where there is land. This man is my neighbor. We are now ruling the government of Akwa Ibom. He cannot go without land. That's how we got. I won't tell you where the land is. While I was speaking for Methodist, somebody came and said, I gave you the land where the cathedral is. And I said, it's not true. We bought this one. The one you people gave us, I won't tell you where it is. I couldn't say, Oma, we are now in charge of the government of Akwa Ibom. Show me what you want. I'll give it to you. When you come, don't fill any form. Knock at the door. Just say your neighbor is here. That's all. The secretary said to him, government is not run like this. And he replied and said, this is our government. We run it as we like. Reverend. I don't want a double member. I'm in Moyo, Mami Nkwe.
I know what you Jehovah. I'm in Moyo, Mami Nkwe.
I'm in Moyo, Mami Moyo, Mami Moyo, Mami Nkwe.
I know what you Jehovah. I'm in Moyo, Mami Nkwe.
I know what a double member. I'm in Moyo, Mami Nkwe.
I know what you Jehovah. I'm in Moyo, Mami Nkwe.
I'm in Moyo, Mami Moyo, Mami Moyo, Mami Nkwe.
I'm in Moyo, Mami Nkwe. I'm in Moyo, Mami Nkwe.
I know where to the Mama Street. I'm in Moyo, Mami Nkwe.
I know what you double member. I'm in Moyo, Mami Nkwe.
I know what you double member. I'm in Moyo, Mami Nkwe.
I know what you Jehovah. I'm in Moyo, Mami Nkwe.
I'm in Moyo, Mami Moyo, Mami Moyo, Mami Nkwe.
I'm in Moyo, Mami Nkwe. I'm in Moyo, Mami Nkwe.
I'm not hearing you. You want bread? I know what a double member.
Jesus.
I'm in Moyo, Mami Nkwe.
I'm in Moyo, Mami Nkwe. I'm in Moyo, Mami Nkwe.
I know what a Jehovah.
Jesus.
I'm in Moyo, Mami Nkwe.
I know what you double member. I'm in Moyo, Mami Nkwe.
I'm in Moyo, Mami Moyo, Mami Moyo, Mami Nkwe.
I'm in Moyo, Mami Nkwe. I'm in Moyo, Mami Nkwe.
I'm in Moyo, Mami Moyo, Mami Moyo, Mami Nkwe.
I'm in Moyo, Mami Nkwe. I'm in Moyo, Mami Nkwe.
I know what they did the mama say.
Jesus.
I'm in Moyo, Mami Nkwe.
I know what you Jehovah. I'm in Moyo, Mami Nkwe.
I know what they did Jehovah. I'm in Moyo, Mami Nkwe.
I know what you double member. I'm in Moyo, Mami Nkwe. Ami moyo mami kwe.
Adewo tiente DJ mabase. Ami moyo mami kwe.
Adewo tiente mambo. Ami moyo mami kwe.
Let's see the book of Mark chapter 5. We take verse 35. No, we take verse 35 through 37. What does he say?
While he yet spake, there came from the ruler of the synagogue's house, certain which said,
No, sorry. 25, 27. Mark.
And a certain woman,
which
had an issue of blood,
12
years,
a woman who had been bleeding for 12 years.
and has suffered,
She must have been a very brave woman. A woman who could fight. A woman of great persistence. A woman of great determination. She said, I will not die until I meet Jesus. I told you yesterday, in Enugu, a woman said to her children, I have been crippled for 27 years now. Any day God brings Uma to this our village, without prayer, I shall walk. As we're driving into Enugu with one of the richest boys from Anambra, we heard a shout. People told her, Ma, did you say if your man comes here, you walk? He is now in our village. The woman said, then I walk now. Miracle is a business of the heart and between your two ears. You don't need the pastor to lay his hand upon you to get your miracle. I said last night, what we had last night was what I call miracle without what? Prayer. You know, I didn't pray last night. We had more than 500 people healed. I want you to understand the way God works. This woman had been suffering for 12 years. She did not go about looking for sympathy. She did not even blame anybody, which is difficult in eastern part of Nigeria. Every sickness will attract people accusing their mother-in-law. It is my mother-in-law that is behind my problem. If your mother-in-law is a witch, your husband is a wizard. Quote me. No man is a failure until he begins to blame others for his problems. When the enemy attacks you, fight back. This woman did not complain about her problem. What happened, sir?
And has suffered many things of many physicians.
Yes.
And has spent all that she had.
She has spent all the money she
and
had.
was nothing better.
Yeah, and was not
But
better.
rather grew worse.
But can you see, despite her losses, she believed she would make it. My mother was poisoned for 5 years. She couldn't see the sun. But she would say to me, Oma, I will not die. Somebody told me you'll be a great person someday. I will hold on until the day you become that person. Right where you are. Don't allow your problem to silence you. Don't allow your problem to dry up the faith in your heart. See this great God as one standing beside you. Can you imagine my brother? An illiterate. A carpenter only. Our God works mysteriously. Tell me, what was new in a Vespa the president saw? A Vespa is a Vespa. But no, the hand of God was on my brother. The hand of God tonight, the hand of God will be upon you, upon you, upon you. Raise your hand and shout hallelujah, somebody. Stop looking at your problem. Look up and look unto your God. Read on, sir.
When she had heard of Jesus,
When they told her what Jesus could do,
came in.
everybody here has heard about Jesus. You have heard what he can do. Even last night, I was shocked at the number of those who were here last night without prayer. I left here in tears. I asked God, what did I do to deserve this kind of honor? Father, help me not to disappoint you. May I carry this anointing with dignity and honor and fear and discipline. Help me. Pastor Joe is my witness. For many months now, everywhere we have gone to, particularly in Anambra, I hear God say to me, "Ma, no sickness that came shall go back as sickness." That is difficult and strange for me to handle. What if there are people whose problems are insolvent? And God said, no, none shall be insolvent. There's nothing, when I sing that song, people say, oh, that's the only song he knows. It's a lie. But it is a song that speaks my mind. I have gone from place to place all over the world except Russia. I've seen God do the impossible. When I said to a woman in Toledo in America, "Madam, stand up." She asked me, "Would you pray?" Hey, can you close your mouth and stand up? And the power of God came down. Her bones began to rattle. When she stood up, the girl who took me to that service said, "Uma, if I don't marry you, nobody will marry you." Look at this girl. We're talking about the power of God. We're talking about marriage. You the grace? I'm a black man. We cook with firewood. We sleep on mats. She said, "I'll learn all that." And then she brought out a silver gun and said to me, "If you don't marry, nobody will marry you." Father, is this how I will die? I've been rejoicing that you have anointed me. Now it will cost me my life. I asked her, "Can I ease myself in that toilet?" She said, yes, you can. I can open that toilet for you. Men and brethren, I stepped in there, jumped through the window, never went. Okay, when I went with my wife, she returned and organized a party for her. I don't know what my wife, she didn't want to, you didn't want to see the food? Right where you are, I want to announce, there's nothing this God cannot do. No, say them in well, please. My mother asked me again, "You mean you prayed and there was money?" I said, "Yes." "So you're not an armed robber?" "Ma, I am not good enough to be an armed robber. An armed robber must be very, very intelligent and daring, ready to die himself. Ma, it's this boy, you say, I love life. I'm not ready to die. So I will not be an armed robber." Right where you are. You know, Elisha asked, "Where is the God of Elijah?" He was standing by him. Right where you are this night, God is standing by you. He's by you, by your side, by your side. If we return to 2 Kings chapter 2 and take verse 14, you'll find that within 5 minutes, Elisha was able to use the same mantle that Elijah used. And the same God of Elijah appeared and dried up the river Jordan as cleanly as he did for Elijah. Within minutes, right where you are, all you need to do is to pause, ponder, and ask God, "Where are you?" He whispered back to you and said, "I'm here." For in chapter 13 of the book of Hebrew, he said, "I will never leave you." I like that line. Can somebody say, "He will never leave me or forsake me"? He is by your side. You are the one that should tell yourself to open your eyes well that you may see him. He will not say, I will never leave you. Let us even hear from Jesus. Let's see the book of Matthew, chapter 28. Let's take verse 18 through verse 20. What does he say?
And Jesus came and spake
He
unto
came
them,
and spake unto them, saying,
all power is given unto
can
me.
somebody say all power? Say it louder now. It doesn't cost money. Say it again. We're going to hold a crusade in Dioreke. The native doctors announced and asked everybody to leave the village. That Omar will not get there alive. That they'll put juju at the entry point to the village. And that juju will kill Omar. When policemen will come to look for who killed him, they will find only juju. I got to the river. My driver refused to drive me. He said, Daddy, I don't want to die here. I will not drive. Don't worry, I can drive with casual ease. I got to the river and said to the river, if you ripple, you dry up. I am as crazy as those who sent you. So if you don't want trouble, remain serene while I drive through the bridge. And the water obeyed me. I drove into the village and began to announce to them, your juju went on strike. So that gate is empty. Nobody is watching that gate. Can you people come and let's have good Pentecostal service? Right where you are tonight, that same God will turn your lamentation into laughter. Do you know we're here because of you? Tell somebody we're here because of you. Because God wants to wipe away your tears. He will turn your lamentation into laughter. Turn your disgrace into grace. Turn your disappointment into supernatural appointment. Right where you are tonight, you have appointment with Him whose power has no measure nor comparison. How do you measure His power? One thing why I like going to Cameroon, when you see that sand of ocean between Calabar and Oron, you'll be amazed. And the other baffling thing, the water between Cameroon, Oron, and Calabar, that water flows ceaselessly. Nobody gas it. No engine is pumping the water. It is pumped from heaven. I've been pumped for more than 200 years. And they will keep flowing the rest of time. Even when time shall time no more, they'll still be flowing. And that God is your God. The other thing that amazes me, how many of you know when we break up this service this night, He will lead everybody to his or her home. He won't let you you will not miss the road to your house. He will take you to your house. I don't know whether you know, everyone here has a camera. And the camera God gave you can pick a picture and print the picture and deliver the picture within minutes. You don't have to wash anything. And this God knows where your sickness is hiding. No, He knows where your sickness is hiding. All those who are planning to harm you, they're wasting their time. When I was just after 3 months of giving my life to Christ, 1958, my uncle came home and asked me, where did you get this your juju? I went to a place and we wanted you to appear in a mirror. Rather, there was thunder against that mirror. It was broken into many pieces. I gave them your picture to put it into water. And the water became blood. As small as you were. Where do you get the type of juju? I said, Uncle, I don't even understand what they're talking about. You took my picture to where? He said, shut up your mouth. Tell me, what power do you have? The only one I have is the one God gave me. When I gave my life to Christ, I was told I had become a member of the redeemed family of God. No weapon sharpened against me can prosper. He asked me, small you? No, sir. I may look small, but there is a force behind me. And that force fights for me. He said, you will not live in this house again. Right where you are not an ordinary person. This God is waiting to honor your faith in him. He's waiting to honor your faith in him. And I want to declare, you cannot leave this compound empty-handed. Something must happen on your inside. So we're back to chapter 5 of the book of Mark.
When she had heard of Jesus.
When she had heard of Jesus.
Came in the press behind.
Can you see? No, let's go to the book of Matthew chapter 9. We take verse 11. It puts it better there. Matthew chapter 9 verse 11. What does it say? No. Chapter 9 verse 11. Where the Bible says, for she has said in her own heart, if I could touch the hem of his garment, I'll be made whole. Huh?
And behold, a woman
11:21.
which was
It should be 9:21. Let me hear. What does it say? For she said within her heart.
I may but touch his garment.
What does that mean? Everybody here, I want you to draw a picture of what you want God to do for you tonight. Picture it. It will become a reality. And Joseph said, one day I'll be a great leader. For he had a dream. I want you to dream the dream of what you want God to do for you tonight. That your womb that does not function shall begin to function this night. How many did I say God will open their wombs? How many? I have not given, the number is 27. There are 27 women here looking at me. Like what happened the other time? You know, that was the day I walked into this hall and I said 40, how many? 43 women who were looking for children were all pregnant that night. When I said it, I picked myself. I said, oh my, you're the craze. You are just praying now. You're saying they're already pregnant. They have not seen their husbands. What type of man are you? But that's the voice I heard. Father, if I'm wrong, correct me. But I have already announced it. And this God came. And they were exactly how many? 43. And two of them were already 52 years each. Well, don't shout, because when Jesus attended Lazarus' burial, he was late, but he was also early. Are you still here? Right where you are this night, okay, sit well, unless you're in labor. Are you in labor? Right where you are this night, something happening around you. God is examining your case. And very soon he will give an announcement. But if you're looking for a child, I want you to hear me tonight. As I speak this night, there's going to be a volcanic eruption in your womb. That movement in your womb shall be a confirmation and affirmation and attestation that this night is the beginning of your unending laughter. Nothing makes a woman happy like having a child. When we got our first child, I was shocked. My wife began to put that child between the two of us, which meant that I was no more on page 1. I was now on page 3. Bad news for me. She would not attend to me until she threw with the baby. I had to wait. This God, now wow. Anybody who said you'll never be a mother, by my spoken word tonight, will be a liar. What is more, before I even drop the microphone, I'll call for testimonies of those that the wombs moved. And it should be written, you're already a pregnant woman. No, I have seen God do it in various ways. There's one who is now my adopted daughter. She cried to her house. I was crying so violently and loudly. Hey, what's your problem? She won't listen to me. What's your problem? And then she said somebody told her that she had eaten her children. You know, we from Nigeria, we get bad mouths. We are the only people who can empty our bucket of water over a drowning man. Somebody say you have eaten your children. She said, hey. No, for shouting so loud, your punishment will be every year one child. She said, Daddy, if I get just pregnant, if I get pregnant once, I'll become your daughter. Now she has 4 children, and she's more than a daughter to my wife and I. That God is your God. He is by your side. He'll wipe away your tears. Can somebody raise his hand and shout hallelujah? Let me hear. The woman said, if I can touch the hem of his garment. Jesus was not there to play any role. This was all in her heart. Right where you're sitting tonight, decide what God will do for you. Don't just sit there like mumu. Tell God what you believe he can do for you this night. I want you to hear me. Every sickness can speak, but every sickness can hear your spoken word. Therefore, when your sickness speaks, you also speak. My backbone moved 3 months ago. My doctors were frightened. They came to examine me and they said, we'll take you to the theater table and operate on you. And I said, that's one option. As a believer, I have another option. The Bible says we shall lay our hand on the sick. Anybody with a hand here? Raise your hand, let me see. Then speak to your hand, say to your hand, if I lay you on the sick, they will recover. Tell your hand. But if you are the sick, you can lay your hand on yourself. I am angry that believers are afraid of sickness. I don't care what doctors say. I have 2 hospitals. I have surgeons who work for me. Some of them may be here in this service. They know we don't agree. They were about to amputate one of my staff members, a pretty girl, but not married, had no child. They said they were going to amputate her right leg because of ulcer. I said to the senior doctor, what will she look like? A pretty girl with broken leg. Who will marry her? Bring her. Father, whatever they call this sickness, I give you only 1 week. Take it away from her. And let the healing be complete and total and implicit. That she may marry a handsome man. That she may have children, beautiful children. In Jesus' name. That was all. I didn't dance. I didn't sing. That was all. 2 weeks after, she went back to school. The leg had been healed. As I speak, she's now a married woman. Hear me. Science is the product of the mind. But science is also limited. Our God is not limited. There is nothing he cannot do. So we're back to this woman. Back to chapter 5, verse 27. What does 27 say?
When she had heard of Jesus,
when she had heard of Jesus,
came in the press behind,
yes,
and touched his garment.
Wait, she touched his garment. She did not stop him and say, "Oga, come here. I've heard about your anointing. Can I tap your anointing from your head?" I've had people stop me and say, "We want to tap your anointing." Nigerians are sometimes crazy. Small girl, she saw me in her back and said, "I want to tap your anointing." I asked her, "Do I lie down for you to tap the anointing, or do I stand up?" She didn't even want Jesus to know. Many places we have gone to, Joe will tell you, people will just block my way. We want to touch you. We want to tap the anointing. Women and men. Any anointing you do not respect cannot bless you. Cannot even fight your battles. She touched the hem of his garment. This was between her and her God. She didn't say to Jesus, don't sleep. She didn't say to Jesus, heal me. No, she did it quietly and gently. What happened, sir?
And straight away,
the
fountain of her blood was dried up.
The fountain of her blood dried up. Well, there are things I cannot really explain myself. At the Assemblies of God Church program in Kaduna, I told the crowd, in 30 minutes' time, a woman will walk to this compound, and she'll be wearing a multicolored dress. She has been bleeding for 6 months. On arrival, she'll lean on a white Volvo car. Once she leans on that car, she's going to fall under the anointing, and her bleeding blood will stop. 30 minutes, a woman appeared from nowhere, from Benin. She leaned on a white Volvo car, and she fell under the anointing. I was amazed when the pastor came to me and said, tell God to give me double portion of your anointing. Now. Okay, I don't want to die now. My children are still small. God has not asked me to come home. I will not ask him to call me home. So I won't die. There will be no double portion of my anointing on you. You want me to die and you will live. Now lie. Right where you are, the question I'm asking you now, what do you want God to do for you tonight? I'm going to do for something slightly funny. There are 12 sisters. Every time people propose to them, the men that propose to them will begin to lose their money miraculously. Tonight, I want to break that relationship between you and that force that will not let you marry. Number 3, there are 37 persons here tonight who have been struggling against forces. And your prayer has come to a place where you shout and say, how long shall my problems last? Tonight, your problem must end. I will pray for you. When I pray for you, there shall be an overwhelming manifestation of the power of God upon you. And you are going to fall and sleep like a pregnant night nurse. While you're sleeping, can we run to chapter 9 of the book of Mark? And let's take verse 24 and 25 and 26.
And
yes, sir.
Straight away, the father of the child cried out and said with tears, Lord, I believe. Help thou my unbelief.
Help thou my unbelief.
When Jesus saw that the people came running to
When Jesus saw that people came running,
he rebuked the foul spirit.
He rebuked the foul
saying
spirit,
saying
unto the
thou
foul
dumb and deaf
thou
spirit,
dumb and deaf spirit,
I charge thee, come out of him, and enter no more into him.
And
the spirit cried.
The spirit in that voice, the spirit behind that young man's problem cried.
And rent his.
Tonight, the spirit behind your problem shall cry. Why? Satan does not release a captive without a fight. And so the spirit behind your problem will not like you to be set free. So they're going to protest, but we shall ignore their protests. Go on, sir.
And rent him so.
And
came out of him.
And he was like a dead man. So much that people said he had died. When that power shall come upon you tonight, you are going to sleep like a pregnant night nurse. And that sleep shall be beautiful, shall be wonderful. You'll enjoy it. In fact, you'll think this is not an air-conditioned room. But I'll wake you up. I don't want to. If you sleep too long, we're not close on time. So I have to wake you up. Before we wake you up, the spirit shall have gone and left you alone. Read on, sir.
Took him
Jesus took him by the hand.
And lifted him up.
And lifted him up.
And he arose.
So that's what we shall do. We'll wake you up. How many did I say there? All those who are saying, how long shall my problems last? Tonight, there will be a demonstration of the power of God on your behalf. Say them in well, somebody. Every sickness that has a name in your body shall tonight surrender. There are 12 persons who do not hear very well. Tonight, as I speak, God will open those 12 ears, and you are going to hear me well. Now, I did not say if you believe. Even if you don't believe, you cannot stop God from blessing you this night. I didn't hear amen. Right where you are tonight, you're not alone. You can decide, you can be a part of your miracle by deciding what God will do for you. God gives us a chance to be part of the miracle we're asking for. Let's return to 2 Kings chapter 2. Let's take verse 23 through 25 of chapter 2.
And he went up from thence unto Bethel. And as he was going up by the way, there came forth little children out of the city, and mocked him, and said unto him, Go up, thou bowed head. Go up, thou bowed head. And he turned back, and looked on them, and cursed them in the name of the Lord. And there came forth 2 she-bears out of the wood, and there 40 and 2 children of them. And he went from thence to Mount Carmel.
No, stop there. Right where you are this night. Whatever mocks you, whoever mocks you, I don't know what problem mocks you. We had a beautiful testimony. One of us who was working for ACB Bank lost his job. And for 1 year, couldn't find a job. He came to see me from Lagos. I was shocked when God said to me, tell him from now henceforth, he will not have to apply for a job. A bank will apply for him to work for them. I told Brother Sidney, thus says the Lord, you don't have to continue to write letters of application. Banks will come to beg you to work for them. He asked me, how? How? Am I God? God knows how it will work out. A week after, the directors of Mercantile Bank, Calabar, went to him in Lagos and said, Central Bank insisted we employ somebody of your qualification, or else they'll close down what they call the bank. Mercantile. You know about Mercantile Bank? He's not in heaven. He asked him, can I ease myself? He went to the toilet and began to cry. Father, so you can honor the word of that man I went to see. He returned. They asked him, how much do you want us to pay you? He told me, he said, Reverend, when they asked that question, if they know I had no kobo in my house, and had had no kobo for 2 months, that question would have made anybody laugh. I was ready to settle for any amount from them. I asked them, can you tell me how much you're willing to pay? And they said, any amount you want. We don't want to lose our bank. We'll give you any amount you want. He asked them if he could go back to the toilet to ease himself. He went back to cry the second time. On arrival, on his return, he asked them, this money we're talking about, when will I collect it? They said, we came with salary for 6 months. He asked them, can I go back to the toilet to ease myself? Nyinimedio be no fubo. Nyinimedio be no fubo andi nyanga.
Nyinimedio di no fubo. Nyinimedio di no fubo andi nyanga.
I want you to hear me. That God is your God. No, say them in louder. That God. No, that is what Elisha was asking God. This God that supported Elijah. When they went to arrest Elijah, they said to him, "Thou man of God, come down from this hill." The man chose Nigerian English and said to them, "If I be man of God, fire go come from up, come chop on all." Sometimes when I think of the greatness of our God, I cry. I have seen this God do the impossible. I have seen this God do the unimaginable. Right? Only you here can bind the hands of God from helping you. Because God has already stretched forth his hand to help you. Remember, this our brother for 1 year had no job. And he had 11 children, plus his wife, plus his 3 cousins and relations. It became a house of 17 people. He said he'll go back to his boxes and send for leftover money in his boxes. Then suddenly he met this foolish preacher who said, "Don't apply again for job. Banks will apply to you." He said, "This man is crazy. Bank not they apply it to anybody." But no, God can change the rule. God can suspend the law of life this night to meet you at the point of your need. To meet you at the point of your need. Can you raise up your hand and shout hallelujah, somebody? My joy is that Elisha demonstrated his faith in the God of Elijah. In the presence of sons of prophets who were mocking him. I don't care who is mocking you. I demand you demonstrate your faith for this God. Tell God you know he can do it. Tell him you believe you can receive it. Are you hearing me? Tonight I said I'll pray. Unlike last night. When I will get good watch, waiting time talk. Tonight? 10 to 10. My wife tells me I get easily excited about preaching. Well, this God pays well, so